And we're back. Welcome. This is adamsapple, and today we're talking about Setapp, a subscription service for your Mac. You can think of Setapp as an alternate app store for your Mac with over 200 apps for Mac and iOS. I'm not typically a big fan of subscription services. They can add up and they become expensive over time, but Setapp has paid for itself in the apps that I use and enjoy. I currently have over 32 apps installed on my Mac. Out of the 200 that are there, there's more to explore. This is the interface for Setapp. Again, it's kind of like an app store. You can search with different categories. They even have collections of apps for suggestions on how to use your Mac, getting things done, streaming, screen capturing. So today I'm going to show you my favorite apps, kind of what got me into Setapp, why I think it's worth it. Some other gems that I've found along the way that I wasn't aware of, apps that were new to me. And then I'll also let you know which ones are also available for your iPhone that you can use as a companion app. So Setapp is, again, a monthly subscription. It's $9.99 a month for one Mac, and it's $12.49 a month for a Mac and an iOS device. And you can also add a more expensive tier as well to get you up to 4 Macs and 4 iOS devices at a time. So the first app I'd like to show you is actually Clean My Mac. And Clean My Mac is the app that kind of got me into deciding to sign up for Setapp because I was going to need an upgrade to Clean My Mac. It's a beautiful app that just frees up hard drive space and keeps your Mac running smoothly. I've used it for years, but I went to do the upgrade and I looked at the cost of the upgrade and then the cost of Setapp, and it just made sense to use it in Setapp. And then as I started exploring Setapp, it had just lots of apps that I already was using and wouldn't need separate subscriptions for and separate upgrades for. So Clean My Mac, again, it's for just keeping your Mac, the memory nice and clean, the storage space cleaned up. There are maintenance scripts that should run every night on your Mac, and they often do, but sometimes it's helpful to be able to run those manually. So you can kind of see the categories on the left here. It also runs up in your menu bar. You can see how much RAM you have free space on. Kind of cool too, it will connect to your devices that are nearby, and it will show you like how your battery life is doing on your iPhone. Clean My Mac is just a really well-designed app and great for just keeping your Mac running fast. The next app I want to show you is called Gemini. Gemini is all about finding duplicates and helping you, again, clean up hard drive space. There is an iOS app for Gemini specifically on finding duplicates for your photos. And that is also included in the Setapp subscription if you have your model to have a Mac and an iOS device. So with Gemini, you can just drop folders on here and it will look for duplicates. You can specifically look for your pictures and scan for duplicate pictures, as well as your music folder. Just again, another really beautiful app, well designed, and again, keeping your Mac running fast, but also keeping your duplicates down and your storage space up. That's Gemini. So I've used Lightroom over the years and Photoshop and had an Adobe subscription. But another popular photo management / editing app is Luminar. And I've followed Luminar again for a while and always been impressed with just kind of how easy it is to use. You can kind of see here, it's a way to catalog photos similar to Lightroom, as well as to do some light edits. One feature I really like in Luminar is this ability to kind of see a before and after. After you've made an enhancement, you can kind of again see a before and after preview of what that's going to do before you kind of lock it in. An app I've wanted over the years and was just pleased to find out it was in Setapp and it was already there, kind of there for me to use and to have. So that's Luminar, and they're up to version 4 now, and Setapp has that most current version. If you follow the Mac and you're really into productivity and maybe into programming a little bit, you've come across the name Brett Terpstra. Brett has a really great website and is always writing scripts that are free to download and ways to just really make your Mac work wonderfully. And Brett has an app called Marked. And Marked is for those that write in Markdown and take notes in Markdown, that you can preview those notes as HTML or PDF really fast and easily, and export to the PDF and get a preview if your favorite notes app doesn't have a preview, or if you just need a better preview, you can use Marked. So if I just, I have a note here I'm reading off of, I can take that and just drop that note right onto Marked. And it provides me, again, a beautifully rendered preview of what I have done already in Markdown. You can see my bulleted lists, you can see my links for these things, and I can use custom CSS or many built-in templates that reformat my Markdown file so I can see it in different formats. Again, it's really fast. It will live update as I type, as I'm working in those notes. And when I'm ready, I can export to HTML, or I can print to PDF. And there are many features actually in Marked too that I won't even touch on today, but just a real great fast Markdown preview. I was already using it, and it's part of Setapp. So speaking of Markdown and specifically blogging, when you're ready to do a post, if you have a WordPress site or Medium site or something like that, Mars Edit has been around for 20 plus years on the Mac, and it is an interface into your WordPress blog where, again, you can write in Markdown, and it is just a really fast way to make a post, edit a post, get it published up to WordPress or other services that you might use. So again, here's the same Markdown file that I was looking at a minute ago, but this is in Mars Edit. I can go in here and edit my Markdown or add HTML. It's really fast and efficient to add images, to add tags, categories, to your blog post, and it specifically works fantastic with WordPress. And so often I'll write a post in another note-taking app, and I'm going to talk about a couple of those later on here that are also part of Setapp. And I can hit publish right to WordPress. It syncs right over to Mars Edit. I can do my final edits there. I can make sure my tags and everything are the way I want them. And then I can hit publish and preview. And again, it's just really fast to use. So that's Mars Edit. When I'm planning out a post, I might do a mind map to start. And so there are several mind map editors that I've used over the years, but one of the most beautiful, I think, is MindNode. And this is MindNode. Again, formats these colors and just is a really fast way to do some brainstorming and some mind mapping. It's beautiful on the iPad as well as the iPhone, and it's part of Setapp. One thing I really like about MindNode, here's the typical mind map view, but they also have this great kind of outline view here on the left. And, I can see it more in a typical outline form. So I might do my original work here in brainstorming mind map mode, but then I have a outline that's just ready to go and I can start writing from. So that's MindNode. Two more on my favorites list, and the first up is ChronoSync. So ChronoSync also has been around a while. It's now ChronoSync Express in Setapp, and this is just a great way to synchronize folders and to automate your Mac on backing up your files. Apple, you can sync desktop and documents folders through iCloud. I don't use that feature on iCloud, but I do kind of roll my own using ChronoSync. So I have a folder on Dropbox that is just called Desktop Sync. And on my multiple Macs, I run ChronoSync, and I can sync my local desktop to that Dropbox folder. That way, ChronoSync just runs in the background locally on each of those Macs, and I can set schedules, decide kind of when I want things to happen, when I want my syncs. You can see here you can do weekly or daily or hourly if you want. And it's just is really rock solid. It's worked very well for me to kind of do a desktop sync. Whereas I didn't really want to use iCloud. The reason I didn't want to use iCloud is I wanted a desktop sync, but I don't want a document sync. And on iCloud, you kind of have to do both at the same time. So again, that's ChronoSync Express, part of Setapp. Okay, last favorite, and this is Yoink. And Yoink, I have used again for a long time, and was just grateful and surprised to see that it was part of Setapp. You know, Yoink is kind of hidden until you need it. Yoink is a little it's a little drawer over here, and you can put it anywhere you want on your screen. So if I drag a file to Yoink, I can just kind of put it here and let it live on my desktop just off to the side. And it's great for moving files around your Mac. So you can drag multiple files to it, and it will just kind of make new little stacks. You could drag in a stack of files, and it will kind of keep them piled up here. And then when I need to move something, I just, make a new Finder window, and then I can just drag that file in and move it around just really easily. It works really well. And again, was using it for a long time. It doesn't run in your dock or anything. You can get to some settings up in your menu bar, but when you're done, you can just kind of clean these up. And after you've moved them around, and then Yoink just kind of disappears. You just kind of forget it's there. Until you're ready to move another file. And the minute you start to drag your mouse, Yoink appears and you can drag it into that little shelf. It's a great little app. So those are my big favorites that kind of got me, hey, I should pay for this. I should pay for Setapp. I'm using these files. They're a big part of my workflow and kind of what I like to use on my Mac. But I started to explore the library in Setapp and was pleased to find some others that are some great gems. So Bartender is the next one I want to show you. So because I have a lot of apps on my Mac, my menu bar tends to get pretty packed. And so my menu bar right now, if you look up here, is not that packed. And the reason is because of Bartender. So if I expand to see how many apps I actually have in my menu bar, you can see it almost fills my screen. And when I'm on my laptop, it doesn't fit. It's just too many to kind of manage and deal with. So Bartender is a way to organize your menu bar and then to hide items that you don't want to see all the time. And it's worked really well for me, just as a quick way to kind of keep your menu bar under control. That's Bartender. I love the built-in calendar app, but I really love Fantastical. Now, Fantastical is not in Setapp, but another beautiful calendaring app is BusyCal, and that is in Setapp. It actually looks very similar to the built-in calendar app on the Mac, but has a few additional power features. One reason I use it is, for whatever reason, the built-in calendar app, and even Fantastical to a certain extent, isn't as easy for me to add local calendars where I just want them on my Mac. I don't want them to sync to iCloud. I don't want them anywhere else. So I use BusyCal to kind of put in some local calendars that I don't want synced through iCal, but it will do many other things. And it is a popular app that, again, has a familiar interface to what you might be used to with the built-in calendar app, but also gives you some other great features. That's BusyCal. You, like me, probably make a lot of screenshots, and you can use the built-in screenshot on the Mac, just Command-Shift-3 for a full screen or Command-Shift-4 to make a window, right? But CleanShot X is a terrific screenshot app. And you can remap, so Command-Shift-3 and Command-Shift-4, just like you'd always done with the built-in screenshot capabilities, you can remap that to CleanShot, and you get some additional just really great features. When you do a screenshot, just make one here, and I can just drag a window like I would. It pops up a nice little preview in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen where you can kind of decide if you want to keep that. You can preview it there. You put your mouse over it. You can copy it to the clipboard. You can save it immediately. You could upload it to cloud storage, or you can edit and annotate right here within CleanShot. So again, it's just a little more full featured than the built-in one for the Mac. You can also capture and record your screen and do video as well. I also really like it because it has high desktop icons, which is another thing I use a lot, especially when screen recording or if I'm teaching. I just don't want students to see all my messy desktop. You can hide your desktop items. So CleanShot is a really great alternative for screen capture. Next little gem is Default Folder X, and Default Folder X has also been around quite some time on the Mac, but it makes your Finder windows, again, just a little bit more powerful. If I click here on this little D icon, I can get to favorite folders really quickly and easily. I can get to recent places where I've been. I can have folder sets, so kind of have groups of windows and folders. And kind of like Yoink, I can also have this little tray to drag little folders into for later if I want to move them around my Mac. They just call it the drawer, and you can just drag things in and out of there. Very similar to Yoink. It also gives you some nice things on open and save dialog boxes. So when you're saving files or naming them, Default Folder X has been a really nice addition. All right, next little gem up is Downy. So Downy is a YouTube downloader. You want to save a file offline, save a video offline for later watching. And it's not just YouTube, it could be Vimeo. It's really just anywhere that video lives on the internet. You can just copy in a link and Downy will get going on downloading that. So I have a link here. If I copy that and just do a paste, it goes to YouTube and it starts to figure out what's there, and it just immediately starts kind of downloading that, and it's going to stick it in my movies folder for me. It figures out what quality. You can do some settings, as far as subtitles and all that. And there are other apps that do this, but Downy is just really lightweight. It's this one little window. And for me, it's always downloaded the video that I wanted. And sometimes that wasn't the case with other apps I've tried. So that's Downy. Okay, next up is iStat Menus. And iStat Menus is again, just kind of lives in my menu bar. Here's an example right here. iStat Menus kind of lets me keep an eye on my CPU, how many cores are being used, how's my memory pressure, how long has my Mac been running. Gives me also quick access to Activity Monitor or the console or terminal, other apps that I might want to pull up just to kind of see what's going on. Tells me which apps are using the most CPU right now. Notice Xcode's the top of the list, and that's pretty common. And so you can do a lot of things with iStat Menus. I also have a little weather widget here that's really nice looking. Also a battery widget. And so you can really configure iStat Menus to just show you a nice little dashboard of what's happening on your Mac. And they all run up just in the menu bar there. Again, an app just another little hidden gem in Setapp. Okay, last little hidden gem, and that is Ulysses. So Ulysses is a markdown note taking app, but it's quite powerful, really. And it does have a iPhone, iOS companion app. Things that I like about Ulysses is the interface is really nice. You notice here just kind of how it highlights when I have links. And this is kind of in my markdown file. You can see the markdown kind of gets out of the way. But it renders, it's like rendering markdown, but also showing you where your markdown is. And it's a really powerful, beautiful writing experience. Also great is you can have external folder support, so you can pull in, like my notes from Dropbox live here, as well as what I have on iCloud. And some of these note-taking apps only interface with iCloud or only interface with Dropbox, but not both. But Ulysses is nice in that it does both. Just a really beautiful writing app. So Ulysses. All right, those are my gems I wanted to mention. I wanted to mention a few apps that were completely new to me when I got Setapp, and I was just exploring. and that have been really nice. The first one is AirBuddy. AirBuddy just lives in your menu bar, and it is for managing your AirPods. And it can be a quick way to connect your AirPods to your Mac to kind of see the battery status of what's going on with your devices. You can kind of see all your devices that might be connected to iCloud or that it knows that they're yours. We can enable magic handoff. And again, it allows for batteries status to be shown, and also helps in just quickly connecting, right? Quickly connecting to your devices. So AirBuddy's a nice little utility that lives in the menu bar. Capto is a beautiful screen capture app. And so this would be, kind of like CleanShot X, but here's a unique thing about Capto is you have a very beautiful kind of iPhoto-esque library for your images and your videos, specifically your screenshots, right? I think if you do a lot of screenshots, at some point you realize they're just kind of cluttering up your Mac everywhere. I don't really want them in my photos library. I kind of want them separate, and a way to kind of help them not be cluttering everything. So Capto has that. Again, I can record the full screen. I record an area or just a window, or do video. So it's similar to CleanShot in that way. But I find it useful to kind of use them both for different purposes. And so that's Capto. All right, DropShare. DropShare is for sharing files with people. And again, it just lives in your menu bar right here. And you can kind of see all of the supported services and icons. You can see Google Drive and OneDrive and Dropbox and many others, Box and just FTP servers. And so there's a lot of power here with how you can set up connections with your online services and get sharing files. So you want to send somebody a video, it's too big to email. You can use DropShare to upload that file to DropShare, grab a link that you can then easily send to somebody, and then they can download it. You can screen capture with this. You can take just quick notes or screenshots to share things quickly with DropShare. And it just, again, it's out of the way. It lives up there when you need it, and you can just drag a file on up when you're ready and needing to share something to DropShare. Okay, home inventory is the next one. So at some point last year during the pandemic, I was like, I need to just kind of see what I own and see what I have in my office and around my house and start to inventory things. It's good just to kind of know what your assets are. And I have a recording studio. And so here's an example of just my microphone and headphone kind of catalog. And I used home inventory, which I wasn't familiar with. It was on Setapp. I said, oh, I'll try this out. And this is really cool. So home inventory, again, also has an iPhone app. So you can take pictures of the things in your office or around your house. And then later it will sync back to your Mac version of home inventory where you can put how much things are worth and start to categorize them into the different things you own. And it's great for, if heaven forbid you had a fire or a theft, you could have all of this for the insurance company to kind of know exactly what you lost and what you needed. You can identify different rooms in your house and then categorize your items into different rooms. And so that's home inventory. Okay, last little new to me item, and that's Tripsy. And I haven't really been able to use Tripsy yet. I just found it a couple of weeks ago, and we're starting to travel more and travel again. And so I'm excited to use Tripsy just to manage all my, my flights, my hotel, any reservations or tickets that I might have. I'm going to use Tripsy to put these things in there. And then again, it has an iPhone app, so it'll sync when I'm out traveling on my trip. I can get access to my reservations, and my confirmation number is really fast and easy. So that's Tripsy. All right, so just lastly, I just want to mention that several of these apps on Setapp have iOS companions. Now, there aren't as many for the iPhone. So there's over 200 Mac apps on Setapp. There's 29 iOS apps. It's kind of a newer addition over the last couple of years in Setapp to offer iOS versions. But of the ones that I've talked about today, DropShare is there, Gemini, MindNode, Paste, Screens, which I didn't actually mention Screens yet. I love Screens. Screens is for connecting to Macs back home, remote control for your Macs when you're away from home or away from your office. That's also available in Setapp. Tripsy we've mentioned, and Ulysses. Those are the iOS companion apps of the ones I mentioned today. And again, there are 29 total to kind of look at. So that's Setapp. Again, I don't love subscription services, but I think this one is paying for itself. This one is worth it. So I invite you to check it out, and just excited for you to learn new apps and see what's out there. So thanks for listening.